Chair now recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. Obernolte. Say that 3 times fast. Oh, wait, New York.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This week, the House will be debating a critically important piece of legislation, the fiscal year 2024 National Defense Authorization Act. The bill that we're considering this week provides a much-needed 5.2% increase in compensation to our service men and women. This is of critical importance because we are one of the few countries in the world that believes in an all-volunteer military force, and the only way that we're able to attract the best and the brightest into our military is if we pay competitive wages. This bill will enact the largest increase to service member compensation in over 20 years. That is a very meaningful gesture in improving the retention and recruitment of quality men and women into our military. I'd also like to thank the House Armed Services Committee for including my amendment to perform studies to direct more resources to remote and isolated military bases like the 5 that exist in my district. Civilian contractor services are critical for providing the services that make life bearable on bases like the ones that I represent. This study will be a meaningful improvement in the quality of lives of the servicemen and women that serve in my district. I would also like to urge adoption of an amendment that I have offered to increase permitting flexibility for the 29 Palms Air Marine Ground Combat Center for the permitting of a joint exercise that allows the annual King of the Hammers event to take place in my district. This is one of the largest off-road racing events in the world. It is beloved by residents of my district and by Marines alike. It brings over 80,000 people annually to the Johnson Valley in my district. It's a major economic driver. We want to continue to see this event take place in the future as a joint exercise between the King of the Hammers event and the Marine Corps. This amendment will make that possible, and I would like to urge its adoption. And finally, I'd like to urge adoption of the entire NDAA this year. This will make some meaningful improvements in the quality of life for our military men and women. It allocates an additional $15 million to the U.S. Northern Command to improve drug interdiction, like the scourge of fentanyl that has been affecting my district. This is a good thing for our national security and for the men and women in uniform that serve our country. I'd like to urge its adoption in Congress this week. Madam Speaker, I yield back.